Hi, so I'm back with this quantum reversal of presentation 38. And if you remember in the last part, Victor was talking about how the parties, it would be nice to elect parties that do good things. And in the beginning, I mentioned before that this quantum reversal is going to be a very good one, a very clear one. And that's evident right from the very start of it. The last word I say, or the last two words I say is, I think I say very good. I was just telling Victor that when I said very good, that his talking was very good. And as soon as I reversed that, the very good turned out as spirit, and you'll hear that right away. It's very clear as well. And then the first sentence is, which is quite amazing, love yourself. This is your physical form as you're learning some spiritual procedures to restrain you from evil. And let's play that. I'm going to put my headphones on.
Very good. You're
And then he says to restrain you from evil. Okay, I'm just got ahead of myself again there. After he says that, he says, it's a special evolutionary event in this life with the gift of spirit from heaven. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit different in this one too. I'm going to slow this down a little bit because sometimes it is in reverse. It is a little bit fast. Okay, so let's go here, and we'll put it at 0.75. So Victor's going to sound a little bit strange in this. When you when I upload the short version of both the forward and reverse, you can do this as well, or you can listen to it in just as it is without me talking at all, and go through it that way. Okay, so let's play that again. Okay, after that, he says, now we can release some doubts that we have passed in the history of Ryan's ancestry, if you followed it. And if you remember, I did a presentation on my ancestry when I did a DNA test, and they're talking about that. Now, this is a little bit confusing to me about what they're trying to say here, but maybe we'll find out more later. Let's hear that. Okay. The next one is, this is how you know this event follows in the summer. The next sentence is, the time is right, for at least I know your courage is definite with your evolution. And then he says, I'm going to do 2 sentences this time. Let's go down a little bit. Your agreement will sit in this prophecy. If you look at most prophecies, you'll learn that most events will get up to. If you look at most prophecies, you will learn that most events will get to rise up and truly come again. And then he says, if it's something you expect, you'll just slough it off and won't really know it's from heaven until you're feeling passion in it. So in other words, if it's something you see consistently happening, it doesn't have as much of an impact. Or if you expect it to happen as well. If you don't, in other words, if you don't realize that it's a miracle and you just expect it to happen, there won't be any passion in it. And passion is one of the driving force for miracles. The next part he says, humans are seriously flawed if there's no point to support a philosophy of devotion that will channel how we know this love can cure the world. And the next part he says, and we feel something is not right when it is proven. When we know there is such an evil evolving force in humanity, there's something wrong when you need help. Sorry, there's something wrong and you need help.
You.
Now in this next part I do some talking as well. I think I say, and so it's kind of hard to hear what Victor's saying and what I'm saying in it. But I say to summon a new reality. So it's in this message to summon a new reality. We hope you can listen to the angels in this song that we're putting out with Ryan.
Oh man, new deal.
And then he says, love is vital, and it's truly what evil shall fear. It runs if you let us know you believe your voice joins us with the good spirits and their heavenly knowledge. And then he says, knowledge for heavenly devotion surely involves people you love. He continues with, most of the prophecies shows your love for them is serious. Knowing your paradox is a known challenge. And then he says, it is good that you don't listen to some of the illusions that many will release. So he's talking again about what's happening in the world today, where there's so many, where there's the press is on two opposite ends, and it depends on who you like and who you believe, kind of thing, and that if we hear enough in the media about something, even if it's not true, it turns into an illusion, and then we start really believing it. Then he says, your reasons for questions is apparently an issue that many really believe in. Striving for a miracle accepts reasons for spiritual growth to tumble pure evil that some put us through. And he says, does what we know pose the ultimate truth? Should you follow this prophecy, you'll know is true. Continues with, those who are emotionally corrupt will believe in the illusion that draws a rejection of this. And I'm going to do all this final one together here. I don't think, well, no. I guess there still is more. Then he continues, when you have an emotional cause to listen, you'll listen excitedly. And then I say, we still rely on the state for now. To listen with devotion will transcend your evil and fill it with love and might change your life. And finally, he says, helping others survive the challenge shall improve the lessons heaven chose, and they'll remember you spiritually also. Okay, I'm gonna play that in normal mode. I'll put it back in normal mode. We'll play it through once more. It's only 2 or 3 minutes long. So we'll go back to here if I can find it. Play the last part of the forward and then we'll continue right in. I'll just play it right through. Hopefully the budgies can be, or the birds can be quiet while I do this.
Very good. You're it. Negative. So there you deal. No.
Okay, I've got something else I'm going to be doing that's a little bit different today, just to finish this off, so you just stand by for a couple seconds. So like I said, I wanted to do something a little different. Back in November 21st, 2016, and this is going to be a dream transcription that I did that relates to this recording of Victor. So back in November 2016, when Trump was elected president, down here I said, I asked God to help me understand the impact that President-elect Trump would have on the world when he becomes president. Yes, I'm concerned about our future, like many others in the world. And that night, after I went to sleep, I had this dream. Note that this image here was done by my daughter Kayla when I told her about the dream. and I thought it was kind of neat little to put it up there. But in my dream, I was visiting a friend and his family. He was my best friend when I was younger, and I always respected him for he was a great athlete and a likable person. While I was visiting, something happened, and I got upset because of something he did. I gave my objection, but he continued. Finally, I knew I wasn't going to change his mind or actions, and said, "I am leaving, and that you're losing a good friend." At this point, I felt there was nothing he could say that would change my mind, and started rushing home. He began to follow me and was asking me to stop. I just ignored him and got ahead of him, taking a shortcut, hoping he would not follow me. Suddenly, I encountered a huge slide that twirled and went up and down. At the same time, he showed up. The slide was made of metal, and it was like a huge eaves trough filled with water and ice on the top. I saw a group of people ahead and knew I was not supposed to be there. However, I got on top of the ice and began sliding around. As I did this, my friend did the same thing, and we began to have fun. Unfortunately, it wasn't long before the ice broke and we both got wet. After that, the slide began breaking apart, and we both knew we made a mistake and should not have been on it. About that time, we noticed a man from the crowd coming towards us angrily. My friend got out of the water and came towards me as the man also started rushing towards us. I tried to get out, but for some reason I was stuck. My friend saw me and reached out his arm. I saw he reached out his hand to help me, and that was the end of the dream. Now this is going to be, I think it's going to be interesting. It's fairly long, but if I read it quickly enough, it gives you an idea of what some of my dream transcriptions were like and how some of them were filled with prophecy. So this is what the angels told me and what I transcribed. It's kind of like an automatic writing thing is what I hear. I use the budgies, and not necessarily just when they're trying to talk to me so I can understand them. Most of the time it just can be bird language, and I can transcribe the bird language. So this is how it starts. The proof is here, and we give you permission to seek out a reason to listen to what we say about this dream. You could not forgive your friend. There is a reason for this dream, and you will learn how to reverse this confusion. Even small life forms have the ability to reverse confusion, which can create miracles. This dream had a symbol of friendship that you will never forget, and something that is part of you for eternity. This relationship is certainly confusing you, and surely has a metaphysical reaction that reaches the depths of your soul. When something spiritual is affecting your soul, it will need to be truly resolved before any spiritual evolution can take place. You need to take this evil and release it so you can evolve. If you want to release it, then this decision will create a miraculous change in you. The simple formula is the particle in the universe that reverses all confusion and protects all life forms. The protection is a promise from your God and is the law that all living things depend on. In this dream, you are running from your friend because you were angry with him. You were refusing to change your decision that affected your friendship with him, even when he was willing to evolve in the direction you were going. If you are reversing some evil that exists in the soul that is projecting your perception of reality, then the reality will begin to change, not only for you, but others who observe you. And this will cause a miracle as long as it is good. So if you really want a miracle, you must make a choice that shows love is the underlying factor of it. And we must not forget that we should not remain in evil too long, or we will not be willing to change. So even if confusion can prevent us from evolving, it's something that everything goes through in time. It becomes a problem that we can get stuck in it or do not want to change it. Excuse Lucky, she's doing her call there, and I know it's kind of a weird call, but anyways, let's continue. If you have confusion, you will not even begin to realize it unless you have a connection to God and you have a mission for change. Will reference to this confusion help you seek God? We promise you a miracle will help you slide over the confusion if you will pay attention to him. Your friend was looking for you everywhere. Actually, I'm out of the, I just realized I'm out of the range here when I'm, so let's, go back down here. Where was I? Number 13. Your friend was looking for you everywhere and wanted your friendship to continue. When you are alone, it's a bad thing you will never forget. You are never alone if you are seeking the friendship of God, for remember, God is always seeking you. The slide in this stream was a symbol of something that really was needed to keep this water flowing in a direction that you would remember. And these people had a reason for making it flow in a controlled direction. It had actually been made to last so they could monitor it. It flowed with answers to the beginning of life, and even though there was ice on it, it followed the path, so they could view there was no interruption on where it was going. The ice on top was a symbol of another form it had begun to change into within the metaphysical, and its properties were very unique compared to the original, but not impossible. Every form we have of water will have many changes that create miracles. These miracles were not something that God originally planned for life, but something that life needed to benefit from. And once God knew it wasn't evil, he evoked his intervention with the miracle, creating a beautiful symmetry and something that we can use to slide on to find the secrets of creation. If you want a quantifiable reason to be connected to the metaphysical and spiritual realm, we will instruct you how to do it. Quantum physics is an extremely spiritual representation of original life in the universe that came from the actions of God. It came from the mind of a loving God who recognized that every living thing has a right to make choices in their spiritual evolution, even when serious confusion is rampant. When he sees there is love in confusion, he will help, if you ask for it. And this is just one of the things we will experiment with here. Do you know what you have obtained with a recent experiment? It is the discovery of the God particle, which physicists have been trying to explain. It involves the miracle of all matter that is living, and it is all so beautiful. We will try to develop a series of experiments showing how everything works using the raw theories of quantum mechanics. You have to expect they have to be something that can be duplicated, and we have to perform these miracles using projections. Not only scientists can repeat them, but everyone who is interested in the theories that we shall quantify here. In your confusion within your dream, the ice broke and you fell in the water. This ice water caused you fear, and this angry man coming towards you caused you so much confusion you began to feel you needed help. Even though you felt you had reason to insist the person you needed help from wasn't your friend anymore. When he found reason to reach out to you, you knew your relationship was the same as it always was. When you reach out for spiritual help, you shall always find it there waiting for you, even when you find a reason to abandon it. Every life form needs to reach out to something spiritual to rise above the confusion in order for it to have spiritual evolution, and it will revive your soul. If you really trust in spirituality, you shall know your God personally. You shall religiously find every single solution in life. Religion can help find your connection to others who believe as you, and when you have a concentration of those who practice spiritually, you shall have a concentration of angels helping you and be able to witness many miracles. If you want some religious intervention to release the confusion, you have to associate with those who have found it already. The grace of God is really a miraculous solution to all your suffering. We will try to socialize you religiously so you have reason to have trust in God. And once you find a reason to have trust in spirituality, you will have a better understanding of religion. We shall help you seek the part of religion you need for living. You should never feel abandoned when you are spiritual, even when you are living in confusion, for God knows what is in your heart. God even has a procedure to help you in the future if you want to live a better and happier life with less suffering. Everyone will know you can appreciate pure love and beauty in everything when you have a belief in every good promise he makes. When you begin to see the miracles around you, you will begin to believe in spirituality and know your God personally, and you will begin your spiritual evolution. We have a reason to talk to you, for we have to evolve as well. Trust a past of mayhem and sin as it caused suffering in a religion which succumbed to the reasoning of political domination, and it will begin to affect you spiritually. If you accept that evil is good, you will spiritually devolve, not only as an individual, but as a civilization as a whole. So you will find many reasons this will benefit the future of humanity. You will see many religions in the world today where the majority are void or delayed in any spiritual evolution. Now let's go back to your dream. You had a part where the ice began to break apart, and even the slide itself began breaking. Because of it, you fell into the icy water, and this really shocked you. Your body began to revert to its properties, and it was very destructive to your spiritual evolution. Prior to that, you were having fun and enjoying the ride you were having. This is a symbol of how we can devolve when we are entangled with the amount of evil that begins to affect our responsibility to object to evil and destruction. This type of evil risks the total annihilation of everything we have learned to love and care about. When you accept the proof that love will change it all, then it shall become a weapon to that very evil. Now we have a prophecy. Yes, Trump will be the new president of the United States. When we naturally progress in the metaphysical, there will be a prophecy that can affect every region in the world. He made promises in the election process, and they will be really hard to keep. The progress that he will make will apply to you in your future. Everything will change if you accept that he is doing what's right for the United States without caring for other countries who are suffering in the world. You must challenge the problems you have coming. You cannot let this evil dominate the rest of the regions in the world. It will really evolve quickly if you do. We know that evil reverses when enough good people come together, and the prophecy we make will be qualified when we can evolve in projecting the natural laws of God. The rest of prophecy is coming true when Trump is president, and he will be prosecuted for all the evil he has done in the past. We know this event will come about when your objections evolve in his presidency. So you have to keep up your objections to many things he promised to do, for this miracle is to stop this evil from being let loose. God does not condone any violence that is released upon him, and we know there will be some who try. So you must not fight evil with evil, as we only seek a change in values that caused him to be the elected president. Through this, you can evolve as a nation, and you will unify and evolve spiritually. A revolution isn't necessary, because he will receive what he deserves and more. Even though you don't realize it, much is happening, even while he is waiting to take the presidency. So much of the confusion resulted from the many things he has done, and it will begin once he assumes the presidency. For this you have to see. We believe that you see this happening for reasons that involve someone that's very close with Trump right now. This someone who relies on future riches, Trump's promise. When you lead a life of evil and corruption, it will always get you in the end. And when you think you are free from it, it still rises up and bites your ass. God said we could use that word because it will be just history. Trump is Watergate times 10, and we shall promise you these events will unfold. If you listen, we shall resolve some evil here. Each time a prophecy comes, we will give you options to resolve it. And once you will see the time is right, it should reverse the confusion that you have, for eventually it is sent for a reason, and it shall be recorded in the rivers of time in heaven, and it shall give you peace and confusion. We want you to know, in part, that your future is bright and beautiful, but we wish the death and suffering was lessened for many regions in the world. And we want to lessen your evil in confusion, and that's why we speak of Trump. If you regress with evil, you shall live in the illusion that the things happening with Trump are not evil, and you will stand with him in all your confusion. When all these events happen, you shall know they are true and not set up by the opposition. They shall begin with the Russian president, and many of Trump's decisions will rely on soldiers in the regions you want to protect. And if Trump gets involved with the evolution of the Russian nation, it will spread more evil in the world, and we must warn you of this. Now we will try to close this session. In the end of this dream, you reached out your hand to an old friend you wanted not to forget. Even though he knew you were mad at him, he tried to reach out and pull you out of the problem that you were in. The reason this ice water held you back was because you were in confusion and forgot that evil could be hiding underneath beauty. And when the water turned to ice, it wasn't evil, because a miracle of love and friendship was still evolving. He allows us evolution even for believing in something that is wrong, as long as we are able to see the truth when it comes out. So that's very important. God allows us evolution even for believing in something that is wrong, as long as we're able to see the truth when it comes out. However, if you still refuse to admit that you were misguided, then you will devolve and freeze to passion, needing someone to help you eventually. So that was done back in 2016, and Trump wasn't even sworn in yet. So there's a lot of prophecies within that dream and that transcription that have already come true. And I hope I didn't bore you with that, but there's lots more of those on the website. Thanks for listening. This completes this presentation. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to join us, you can come to theangelscrolls.com and click onto the forum link at the top, where we will be adding the newest presentations. Bye for now.